right. So I thought I would share with you guys something today that I'm pretty excited about. A lot of times I'm doing restorations on guitars and violins and things, and today I'm actually going to be restoring a violin that's going to be mine. It's a violin I found, an old violin sent to me over on the internet, and I didn't know a lot about it. I have a feeling I know where it was and through some research and whatnot, but I just really loved from what I saw on the internet. And I'm going to open it right here with everybody together and see how it looks. I already taken it out of the box, but now I'm taking it out of this really awesome case it came in. Okay, and the word is it's at least 1892. Okay, so we're looking at about 120, 130 years old here. And so we're going to take a look, open that up. I'm going to turn on get some bright lights going, real bright. On the workbench, they get bright. So look at that. All right, so here we have, I'm looking at here. I just love the way that aged. I love the way the staining is dark in the middle, and you still got the reds on the sides, the corners. I just fell in love with this violin when I saw it. I actually saw one like it a couple years ago in an auction. I wasn't able to win it on the auction, so I had my eye out for one like it. Like I said, I'm pretty sure it's a Stentor violin. Back they made a lot of these back in the 1890s, and still really cool violin. I love the way it aged. But I'm not for sure it is one, because we'll see. So this is just really, really, really cool. Isn't that so cool? And so I'm really looking forward to restoring it, getting it back to playing condition. The gentleman that I had purchased it from wasn't able to get it to playing condition because it was going to cost too much money. And so he was needing the money, and so went ahead and sold it, and gave me a really nice fair price on it. And I also asked him to include any documentation that he had with it to help me trace back what it was. And so we've got some things here. Looks like this is from Antiques Roadshow, so possibly it was featured on that. And this is tickets, looks like, for Antique Roadshow. That's pretty cool. So looks like it was maybe on the television show. And if you haven't seen Antique Roadshow, I love that show. So cool. They feature a lot of old different things, and they give estimates on what it's worth, the value of it, and maybe some history behind it and things like that. So we have that, and let's see. And then we had this letter I asked him to include. What this has the history that they know about it, which I thought this was the coolest thing, is when you get the history of an instrument. It's really neat, especially an older instrument. So it says, Clara Albach / Dillon, born 1885 in Russell, Kansas, died 1971 in Lompoc, California. She received this violin at age 7 in 1892 from her dad, who purchased it from a neighbor for $10. Okay, so 1892, $10 back then is the equivalent of $300 now when you take into account inflation. So $300 violin. So it's not like a real cheap violin, but it wasn't bought new either. So 1892 is when she bought it from her neighbor. So it could be even older than that. So pretty neat. So she played at country dances, parties, and school. She also would play it at family functions up until she was about 30 years of age. She got married and homesteaded on Browns Hill, Wyoming. Up until her death, I inherited the violin, or upon her death, I inherited the violin, and it has been in the family since 1892. It's complete with bow, case, and old beeswax from the 1800s. Okay, so apparently it only got played for 30 years. So I'm going to take a brief look at the condition here. And we're going to take a look here and see if we can show you here kind of a few things. I'm going to take out the case over here, which this case is just so cool. I mean, the case in itself is aged. Let's take a look at just see what's in here real quick on the case. Let's see here. So here's Very cool. Here's a receipt, a repair receipt. Okay, from 1962, where they had the strings changed. They bought a new bow and a sound post. Very cool. So they had the new sound post put in. Very nice. So there's our bridge in there. We can tell that that's a nice old bridge, original bridge. Look at that. Nice and seasoned. I like a seasoned bridge. That's cool. This is the, let's see, here's the old sound post. So possibly the original sound post. Now they used to do, put in these sound posts with strings. It's very difficult. You have to get them inside the actual, F holes in the violin. It actually sets in on the right side over here and has to be wedged up inside the hole. And believe it or not, the sound post, just like it states, has a lot to do with the tone of the violin and keeping it balanced. And it also has to do with the functionality of the violin and keeping it from cracking, believe it or not. Due to the vibration, the way the vibration travels down the sound post, it keeps it even more on the high end of the violin on the instrument. So the A and the E strings, that's a higher end. So you want to have it lined up directly under the bridge, helps line it up. And then on the other side, there's a bass rib, like this rib that goes through on the bass side for the D and the G strings, and that vibrates the lower sounds. And when they come in together, that one, it shoots it to both the top of the violin and to the bottom from that one, and then the sound post that goes down and shoots the sound out that way. And that's the theory. But that's these Stradivarius copy violins. That's one of the reasons why they sound so great, and that they're making them the same way even still 300 years later. We still have the same concept on sound and building the violins, which I think is pretty neat. So we were just checking to see what else was in the case, and then we had our rosin here. Okay, now this rosin, I would not say that just by the case of that's from that's original rosin. I would assume this was from when they had this repaired in 1962. This does look like a 1962 style packaging. Oh, I see that. Yeah, that's not as old, but that could definitely absolutely looks like 1962ish. I'll open that very carefully because this stuff doesn't last that long. It gets really, yeah. It's basically it's tree sap. Okay, so it's hardened tree sap, as you can see, and we put that on the bow, and that allows the strings to make sound when the bow crosses the strings. Instead of just making a whoosh sound, it actually allows the bow to grab onto the strings, and then that allows it to vibrate and make a sound. So that's some old rosin right there. I'm not going to use that. It's way too it's toast, but I'll keep it. Now, just for future reference, if you ship a violin or you ship a violin, you have your rosin, you want to ship it, that's fine, but put it in a Ziploc bag. Put it in a Ziploc bag, because if it breaks upon shipping or whatnot, that rosin can just crickle and crackle and get all over the place. And I mean, it makes a mess of your violin in the case in there. You gotta vacuum it all out and everything. Been there, done that when I've received violins. So I always put them in a Ziploc bag. Luckily this one didn't bust open too much. I can see some rosin deposits. Okay, and we also have a little key in there. That's cool for the case, which I think this case is just awesome. Okay, and then let's move this here. Really cool. Latches still work on the case and everything. I'm just going to set that aside. Okay, so here we'll take a little bit closer look at the violin here. See if I can get you a better shot there. Okay, with the magnifying glass I can help for you. Yeah, a little bit there. So so here on the inside, you probably can't see it, but there is a label, a tag, and all it says is a copy of Antonio Stradivarius, made in Germany. So we don't have it. We've got a very, it's an old looking tag. I don't know if you can see it inside there. Probably not. Okay, you can't see it, but that's okay. It's an old looking tag, but in genuine good condition. So the tag is in great condition. Obviously the maker was not taking credit in that part, and so we're going to look for any other indications of who the actual builder was, see if it actually was Stetton. Okay, you can see over here, so I'm just kind of along underneath. Sometimes they'll put it back here, and I don't see anything there, but of course it's so dark now back there, it'd be hard to see if it was. I love the way this staining is. Look at that. There is, wow. There is so little damage on this for the age. I mean, it is in excellent condition. Obviously it needs to be cleaned and restored and everything, but this is in excellent condition. This is, from what I can see so far, this looks really, really, really good. Okay, so what I'm looking for is any signs of cracks or any repairs. So I'm looking all along here, and I'm not seeing any sign of any crack or any repair. I'll hit it with the magnifying glass in a little bit here, but I'm not seeing any signs of any cracks. Potentially one starting right here. I will nip that in the bud though. It doesn't look like it would go all the way through. We can check that by, I could actually see that by looking in the F-hole. I will put the flashlight right on top of the crack, look in the F-hole, and see if the light shines through the crack. If the light shines through the crack, then we know the crack goes all the way through the violin, which it does not. It looks like it's just a scratch deep, but I will still fill that with some wood glue, and it'll be all good to go. So we are looking in great condition here. Great. No cracks on the back. Oh wow, this is great. Look at this. I like how they did the staining on here. See how they have these little almost intricate artistic designs in there. I don't know if you can see it on there. Let me take the light off. Little artistic designs there. Little swoops of the brush type of thing. Yeah. I think that is really neat. It gives it some personality for sure. You can see this was on a flame maple back here. Nice cut of wood for sure that this was built on. This was a nice cut, very nice cut. Flame maple sides. Whew. Nice. And cedar top, looks like. Very nice. And so there we are. There's a little bit of a crack here. I can see it's not a crack, actually it's just a little bit of a separation from where the top is separating, and that is no big deal. That is no big deal. That is the least of my concerns. That's easy. So as we get going, I'm excited to see how this is going to turn out. So I'm really excited on it. We'll see where we can go with it. I think it's going to be a great violin. I'm going to probably save a lot of the hardware and separate it off just to keep it in the condition that it's in. So the pegs I'll probably still I'll see once I get everything cleaned up and everything, but some of the things like the chin rest I might actually switch out with another chin rest just to keep this in mint condition, as mint as it is. The pegs I might switch out, probably not though. Probably the pegs, probably keep those. That's good. We'll see about the nut here. The nut looks like it has been replaced at some point to make it a little bit higher, because probably over the years. You can see how old this is. That's why, it might be, it is old. You can see here on the bridge. Let me see if I get the light here to show you. On the bridge here, do you see how the strings are pulling right through here? They're really pulling and have dug into the bridge and pulled forward. See that? Those are just normally round holes, and they've dug that far forward on it. So that gives you an idea of how long those strings have been on here. These strings are just in general how long the strings have been on here. These strings are probably from obviously when they changed the strings. Too bad they didn't keep those old strings somewhere, but I'm going to keep these, put on some nice strings, probably those Damastic Enfeld dominant strings. They're made in Vienna. Really bold, rich sound. I just love the way they sound. The bridge I'm going to keep how it is, but I'm probably going to cut a new bridge. But I'm going to cut a new bridge out of a nice piece of ebony. I'm going to find the nicest piece of ebony I can get, and I'm actually going to do it out of ebony and see how that ebony bridge will sound with it, rather than maple, because I like a deep dark sound on it. I think it'd be nice to cut a bridge out of ebony and get that rich sound. It's a hard wood. It should be, it'll look cool because it's going to be a dark wood with the with the with the dark, aged violin. I think it should look cool, but it should also sound really cool too. And so yeah, that's kind of what I'm thinking with it. And then yeah, I'll keep you guys posted. All right. Hey, thanks for checking it out. If you need any guitar work or anything like that, feel free to hit me up. I love to do setups. I really specialize in setting ups, making guitars play, sound excellent, and just making them the best that they can be, violins as well. So if you have any stringed instruments, feel free to let me know, and that'll actually it increases the value of the instrument, because when an instrument plays good and sounds good, value goes up. Even if you have a $200 guitar and it plays like a $200 guitar, it's not like it's a $200 guitar. But hey, if you can get it set up right, do all the fret work, everything, all the pickups correct, and the nut carved on it just perfect with the slice on the nut slots, and then the bridge just adjusted perfectly, and everything balanced and perfect and sounding amazing and playing amazing and feeling amazing. It's worth a lot more than $200. So I hope you guys have an awesome day, and I know I am. I'm really excited. I think this violin is going to be just something really special, and I'm real excited about it. So all right, you guys, take care. Have a good one. Thanks for hanging out. Bye.